تغمرني من فيض ضياء آيات المولى تدفعني نحو العليا.
So can you be there? Oh, it's okay.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the Voice of Oneness with myself, Murshid Habib. Alhamdulillah, for those of you who are joining us here, we are starting off with the first episode of season 3 of the Voice of Oneness. We have an exciting show ahead. Indeed, we have exciting shows ahead with the elimination round that we are now in, with more than 300 participants who will be joining us over the next few episodes and next few weeks. Many of them are from different parts of the country. This is what we love to see, the diversity of the Quran up and down the UK. We have reciters from London, Reading, Stoke-on-Trent, Brighton, Blackburn, and many other parts that we will be encountering students, gems in our community, young brothers and sisters, even today's participants, young as 8 and perhaps old as 12, which you can see is not a very big window, but nevertheless they are very hard-working students of the Quran. Inshallah, bi'idhnillah, we'll be getting to know them, and over the next few stages we'll be working towards crowning one of them as the winner of season 3 of the Voice of Oneness from TV1, inshallah. To help assist in this elimination round, I will be having lots of lovely judges that you will be getting familiar with. Some of them you know already, perhaps seeing them over the last 2 seasons, and some of them that you'll be getting to learn about more, and inshallah they will be sharing pearls of wisdom with our participants as well. I will be giving my salam to them and introducing them briefly as well. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, judges. How are you doing today?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. So to my closest right, I have Sheikh Hamza Habib Al-Hayatimi with me. To my further right, I have Sheikh Maqsood Ilahi Sabir. Both of them, of course, you are familiar with in terms of the Quran circuit, and of course, having steered hundreds of students in the Quranic knowledge. And bi'idhnillah, they will be helping us in this show as well today. Let's get a very brief word from them both. I'll turn first to Sheikh Maqsood. Sheikh Maqsood, Alhamdulillah, you were with us in season 2. You were here on the launch show the other day. How are you feeling about today's show?
I'm really very excited, alhamdulillah, having the experience of last 2 seasons where I experienced that there is the hidden gems in the community, and through this competition I got to know them, and we can produce some of the, I wouldn't say national, I say world-class huffaz. It's really amazing, though it sounds too big mouth word, but it's true. Definitely. Only teenage, some of them didn't even pass two-digit age, a single-digit age. But when they listen to recite, I say, Ya Allah, it's i'jaz of the Quran. Their standard is very high. So we get to know them through this competition, inshallah.
Inshallah, bi'idhnillah. Sheikh Hamza, alhamdulillah, you're joining us as well in season 3 for the first time. We're very excited to have you here with us today. How are you feeling about the competition today?
Yes, alhamdulillah. The best thing that you hear is the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being recited in beautiful voices, with beautiful tajweed, especially with young children. And obviously when you turn the TV on, especially those who are at home and listening, I'm sure they're all enjoying the beauty of the Quran when young child reciting the Quran with the beautiful voice, and everyone will be wishing that's my son or that's my daughter. And that's what the Prophet ﷺ said, La hasada illa fi ithnatain. There's no hasad, there's no envy, and obviously it's referring to the good envy, not envying someone in a bad way, giving bad evil. Is just mean to wish for something to happen to you, that's something someone else has. So the Prophet ﷺ said you should only wish for 2 things. Number 1 is someone who is a reciter of the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them knowledge and they reciting the Quran, and that you wish that Allah makes you like them. And the second person is the person who Allah gave them wealth and they give in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So here everyone can envy these children, not give them hasad obviously, and but to wish that their kids like that, and obviously not just wishing, for it's for you to also work for it. So teach your children so that they can one day be on this competition, inshallah. Even they don't win, but they say alhamdulillah, they were in the competition one day, competing for the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Alhamdulillah. I think pearls of wisdom already from our teachers. This is what we hope to see, is our children not feeling embarrassed, rather encouraged by the asatiza here, rather being supported by you, my respected viewers at home, and of course, inshallah, allowing them to become ambassadors of our beautiful faith through the Quran, inshallah. Well, some basic followings and rules that all of our students must be abiding with, inshallah. Within our each segment, we'll be aiming to listen to at least 5 different participants. Each of them will be given 2 minutes to recite from the Quran. They are also allowed to look at this stage if they wish to, and of course some perhaps may choose to read from memory, but the option is open if they wish to look. Within that 2 minutes, they will be observed on the different pronunciation, so the makharijul huruf as it is known as, to ensure that they're reciting in the most prophetic way, and also the rules of tajweed, ensuring that the rules of recitation are met as well. And a third category that will be observed is the delivery. How comfortably is the student reciting? How confidently are they reciting? How much are they ensuring that they're audible? Sometimes, when we're reciting in our own little space, we're reciting a bit quietly, but here on the big stage, we need to ensure that everyone can hear us, inshallah. So all of those things will be merged, and our judges will be marking as fairly and as independently as possible to give the best of marks to all of our participants. So with those things in mind, inshallah, and without any further delay, let us head to the first of our reciters that we have. Today from London, we will be starting with 9-year-old Abdul Rahman. So let's go and give our salam to him. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Abdul Rahman.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you doing today, Abdul Rahman?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine.
Alhamdulillah. Abdul Rahman, which surah will you be reciting for us?
Today I'm going to be reciting Suratul Alaq.
Suratul Alaq. Very good choice of surah. Well, Abdul Rahman, you have 2 minutes. When you're ready, you may begin.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم كلا إن الإنسان ليطغى أن رآه استغنى إن إلى ربك الرجعى أرأيت الذي ينهى عبدا إذا صلى أرأيت إن كان على الهدى أو أمر بالتقوى أرأيت إن كان على الهدى
أرأيت teachers
إن كذب أرأيت إن كذب
إن كذب وتولى ألم يعلم بأن الله يرى كلا لئن لم ينته لنسفعا بالناصية ناصية كاذبة خاطية فليدع ناديه سندع الزبانية كلا لا تطعه واسجد واقترب.
MashaAllah, Jazakallahu khairan. Thank you very much, Abdul Rahman. May Allah bless you for your recitation. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallahu khairan to Abdul Rahman for his recitation there from Suratul Alaq. At this stage of the elimination round, we won't be giving individualized feedback. We will be, of course, giving some overall feedback towards the end. But let us move on to the next reciter. We have, once again from London, 12-year-old Abdurrahman, but this is a different Abdurrahman. Abdurrahman Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Abdurrahman.
Sa'id.
We're going to be holding off with Sa'id for a moment while he joins us, but let's give a salam to Abdurrahman Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Abdurrahman Muhammad.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
How are you doing today, young man?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Very good, very good. Abdurrahman, which surah will you be reciting for us today?
A part of Surah Baqarah.
A part of Surah Al-Baqarah. Well, if you're ready, you may begin, inshallah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذ قلنا ادخلوا هذه القرية فكلوا منها حيث شئتم رغدا وادخلوا الباب سجدا وقولوا حطة نغفر لكم خطاياكم وسنزيد المحسنين. فبدل الذين ظلموا قولا غير الذي قيل لهم فأنزلنا على الذين ظلموا رجزا من السماء بما كانوا يفسقون. وإذ استسقى موسى لقومه فقلنا اضرب بعصاك الحجر فانفجرت منه 12 عينا قد علم كل أناس مشربهم كلوا واشربوا من رزق الله ولا تعثوا في الأرض مفسدين. وإذ قلتم يا موسى لن نصبر على طعام واحد فادع لنا ربك يخرج لنا مما تنبت الأرض من بقلها وقثائها وفومها وعدسها وبصلها قال أتستبدلون الذي هو أدنى بالذي هو خير اهبطوا مصرا فإن لكم ما سألتم وضربت عليهم الذلة والمسكنة وباءوا بغضب من الله ذلك بأنهم كانوا يكفرون بآيات الله ويقتلون النبيين بغير حق ذلك بما عصوا وكانوا يعتدون. صدق الله العظيم.
Jazakallahu khairan. Thank you very much, Abdurrahman Muhammad, for your recitation there from Surah Al-Baqarah, the earlier parts from the first juz. May Allah bless him. I'm sure when we come to the overall feedback, our mashayikh will have some thoughts to share with any corrections as well. Let us move on to our next participant now. From Stoke-on-Trent, we have 10-year-old Abidur Rahman. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Abidur Rahman. Let's turn to him on the big screen, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Oh, I think Abidur Rahman, you are online, but I think we can't see you or hear you. So I think you're going to have to unmute yourself and visualize yourself so we can see you, inshallah. These are the wonderful issues that you sometimes still experience with the online world, but nevertheless, inshallah, we'll make it work. Whilst Abdur Rahman prepares for that, we'll actually move on to the next reciter. Once again from Stoke-on-Trent, this time 11-year-old Adil Ahmed. Let's go to Adil. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Adil.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you doing today, Adil?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Adil, which surah would you like to recite for us?
Surah As-Safat.
Surah As-Safat. Okay, well, if you're ready, inshallah, you may begin.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والصافات صفا فالزاجرات زجرا فالتاليات ذكرا إن إلهكم لواحد رب السماوات والأرض وما بينهما ورب المشارق إنا زينا السماء الدنيا بزينة الكواكب من كل شيطان مارد لا يسمعون إلى الملأ الأعلى ويقذفون من كل جانب دحورا ولهم عذاب واصب إلا من خطف الخطفة فأتبعه شهاب ثاقب فاستفتهم أهم أشد خلقا أم من خلقنا إنا خلقناهم من طين لازب بل عجبت ويسخرون وإذا ذكروا لا يذكرون وإذا رأوا آية يستسخرون وقالوا إن هذا إلا سحر مبين أئذا متنا وكنا ترابا وعظاما أئنا لمبعوثون أوآباؤنا الأولون قل نعم وأنتم داخرون فإنما هي زجرة واحدة فإذا هم ينظرون
جزاك الله خيرا عادل. I will stop you there to be fair on time for everyone else. May Allah bless you. That is your 2 minutes up. Alhamdulillah, very nicely recited from the start of Surah Al-Safat. You can see the flow of some of these students. They are picking some big surahs, which shows a lot of confidence in their reading ability. May Allah bless Adil Ahmed from Stoke-on-Trent for his recitation. Let's go once again to Stoke-on-Trent, 10 years old, Abidur Rahman. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Abidur Rahman.
وعليكم السلام.
How are you doing today, Abid?
Alhamdulillah, good.
Alhamdulillah. Abid, we can't see you, so I think you're going to just have to ensure that we can see you whilst we listen to your recitation. Are you comfortably situated? Are you comfortably sat?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you turn your camera on so we can see you?
It is on, but it's not working.
It's not working? Okay. Well, my producers, can we get all of us on this stage together? Okay. Abdur Rahman, we're going to come back to you in the meantime, just so that your camera and everything else can be sorted. Whilst we do that, we're going to move on to another reciter from London. We have 12-year-old Ahmed Oguzan Bilgu. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
How are you doing today, Ahmed?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine.
Alhamdulillah. Good to see you, Ahmed. Ahmed, which surah would you like to recite for us today?
First page of Surah Al-Yasin.
Surah Yasin, not Surah Yasin. Well, Ahmed, if you're ready, you may begin, inshallah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ياسين والقرآن الحكيم إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم تنزيل العزيز الرحيم لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم فهم غافلون لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون إنما وسواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون.
جزاك الله خيرا Ahmed. May Allah bless you. Alhamdulillah.
صدق الله العظيم.
Very good effort from Surah Yasin there. Alhamdulillah. Lovely to hear from you as well, Ahmed. There you can see reciting with good pace throughout all of his recitation. Managed to also correct himself, which is also a very good thing. To be able to recognize your own recitation is also a part of being able to progress. Let's once again try from Abdur Rahman from Stoke-on-Trent. I hope we can get the young man up on the screen so that we can hear him. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Abdur Rahman.
Walaikum salam. Is it fine if I can use a different device for the...
I believe, Abdur Rahman, you may have been told by our lovely producers, we just need you on the camera. If you need to change your device, you may speak to them and come back, inshallah. And we'll come back to you after you've sorted that out. In the meantime, let's go to our next reciter. We have from London, 8 years old, very young, very small, very confident, I'm sure. We have Ahnaf Kabir. Although he's only 8, his name is Kabir, so he is maybe definitely big in his recitation. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Ahnaf.
Wa alaikum assalam.
How are you doing today, Ahnaf?
Good, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Can we get Ahnaf on the screen as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, producers, can we get Ahnaf on the screen? There we go, brilliant. Ahnaf, which surah would you like to recite for us?
Surah Al-Baqarah.
Surah Al-Baqarah. You going to read the whole thing in 2 minutes?
No.
No? We're going to part of it.
Just a part.
Okay. Well, Ahnaf, if you're ready, you may begin, inshallah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون إن الذين كفروا سواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة ولهم عذاب عظيم ومن الناس من يقول آمنا بالله وباليوم الآخر وما هم بمؤمنين يخادعون الله والذين آمنوا وما يخدعون إلا أنفسهم وما يشعرون في قلوبهم مرض فزادهم الله مرضا ولهم عذاب أليم بما كانوا يكذبون وإذا قيل لهم لا تفسدوا في الأرض قالوا إنما نحن مصلحون.
جزاك الله خيرا. Ahnaf, I'll keep you up to there for the time. Barakallahu feek. May Allah bless you. Alhamdulillah. You can see Ahnaf, only 8 years old, reciting ever so confidently from Surah Al-Baqarah, nearly made it to a page and a half of the surah.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Jazakallahu khairan to Ahnaf there. Age is merely a number when it comes to Quranic ability. It is up to individual responsibility to be working hard, and regardless of the age, you can see even at 8 years old reciting from the longest surah in the Quran as if he's been doing this for many years. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. A testament to the hard work of both his parents and I'm sure his teachers, undoubtedly. Alhamdulillah, lots of beautiful recitation from our competitors so far today. We will be coming to the judges for some comments, but before that, we're going to go on a very short break. We'll see you after that, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
قرآني في قلبي تدفعني نحو العليا. في قلبي دوما يغمرني من فيض ضياء آيات المولى تدفعني نحو العليا.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the Voice of Oneness with myself, Murshid Habib. Alhamdulillah, for those of you who are joining us here, we are on the first episode of the elimination round of season 3. MashaAllah, tabarakallah, we've started off very strong with reciters from different parts of the UK, from London, from Stoke-on-Trent, from Reading, and inshallah we'll get to listen to more and more of these high standard Qurra in our communities, bi'idhnillah. We are listening to both young boys, young girls from as young as 8 years old reciting. Our last participant was 8 years old, but recited from Surah Al-Baqarah. This is the i'jaz, as Sheikh Maqsood was saying earlier, of the Quran, that it does not take a 60-year-old person or a 90-year-old person to recite. Even someone as young as 8 can recite if they have Allah's love in them, and at the same time if they are picking up the Quran continuously. We will be moving on to our next participant, but before that, a quick question to our judges. Sheikh Hamza, what did you make of the first batch of recite Qurra today?
Yes, mashallah, they were really nice. They tried their best, but what I would advise is for them to slow down.
Slow down. Mm-hmm.
Some of them, maybe they have overconfidence. They memorize the surah and they kept rushing, and once you do that, you end up making loads of mistakes. But just focus, slow down on your recitation. There's no rush, inshallah.
Do you think the issue is that some of the participants thinking they'll recite so much and maybe that'll be a good thing? Is it better to recite less and recite it properly, or is it better to recite lots?
Yeah, because you have 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You're not given how much to recite. You're not asked to recite the whole page.
Yeah.
You're asked to recite for 2 minutes.
Yes.
So just utilize those 2 minutes. It doesn't matter how much you recite. The most important thing is the quality.
Quality,
yeah.
Definitely. Very good point. And Sheikh Maqsood, again, I saw you taking lots of notes. Any feedback to the next batch of competitors coming through now?
Yep, I picked up why you stopped. It's no point of reading a lot, and when you read a lot, that means you have the possibility of making lots of mistakes as well.
Yes.
And here is very important. You have to remember, we don't test a hadar. Hadar is like when a fast pace of recitation.
Yes.
Reads, little by little, and make sure there shouldn't be any mistake in your hifz, because it's a competition.
Yes.
Whether you're looking at the Quran, I see some of them even looking at the Quran still making some harakat, tashkil mistake. And then the second very important thing, I would say, the tajweed. You got to be careful on this. Like beautification, it's a part of this, but there are some no-goes on. Is the tajweed mistake? You can't step into the tajweed mistake.
Yes.
I'm talking about. That you got to be careful on this.
Definitely. I think brilliant advice for all of our participants, parents as well, who are watching on the sidelines. Make sure you give that feedback to your young dear children as well. Take your time. Take your time. As Sheikh Hamza said, it's not about how much you recite. We're not looking for 5 pages in 2 minutes. Even if you recite 5 lines, but read it slowly and carefully and properly, you'll probably secure a higher mark. So inshallah, take your time. And of course, as Sheikh Maqsood was also saying, focus on the actual recitation. Don't rush and make mistakes in your hifz. Even if you're looking, take your time. Even put your finger on the mushaf. Follow until you get to the end so you can recite properly, inshallah. May Allah bless all of our reciters and all of those working behind the scenes very hard. But let's move back to Abid Rahman, 10 years old from Stoke-on-Trent. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Abid Rahman.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wonderful, we can see you at last. Alhamdulillah. Abid, how are you doing today?
Alhamdulillah, good.
Alhamdulillah. Abid, lovely to hear from you and see you. Abid, which surah would you like to recite for us?
Surah Ash-Shu'ara.
Ash-Shu'ara or Shura? Sorry, I didn't hear.
Shu'ara.
Ash-Shu'ara. Okay, wow. Big, nice surah, alhamdulillah. Have you memorized this, Abd Rahman?
Yeah.
You've memorized this surah?
Yeah.
Allahu Akbar. How much of the Quran have you memorized?
Like 5 juz.
5 juz, alhamdulillah. May Allah bless you. Very, very impressive. Abid, if you're ready, you may begin, inshallah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم حميم عين سين قاف كذلك نوحي وإلى الذين من قبلك الله العزيز الحكيم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وهو العلي العظيم تكاد السماوات يتفطرن من فوقهن والملائكة يسبحون بحمد ربهم ويستغفرون لمن في الأرض ألا إن الله هو الغفور الرحيم والذين اتخذوا من دونه أولياء الله حفيظ عليهم وما أنت عليهم بوكيل وكذلك أوحينا إليك قرآنا عربيا لتنذر القرى ومن حولها وتنذر يوم الجمع لا ريب فيه فريق في الجنة وفريق في السعير ولو شاء الله لجعلهم أمة واحدة ولكن يدخل من يشاء في رحمته والظالمون ما لهم من ولي ولا نصير.
MashaAllah, tabarakallah. I'm going to stop you there, Abdul Rahman, for the time. May Allah bless you and your recitation from Surah Ash-Shura. Alhamdulillah, a pleasure to listen to from the start of the surah. Let's now move on to our next participant. We have, in fact, the first female reciter today. We have from Walsall, 13-year-old Aisha Arabi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Aisha. Can you hear us loud and clear? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Aisha.
Wa alaikum assalam.
How are you doing today?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good.
Alhamdulillah, very good to hear from you. So Aisha, which surah will you be reciting for us?
I'll be reciting
Aisha, I believe we can't see you up on the screen.
Oh.
Can we get that rectified so that we can hear you and see you properly? I believe my producers are saying.
I don't know why it's not working. It was working a few minutes ago.
Okay. Well, Aisha, my producer is going to get back to you. You just wait a moment. We'll come back to you in that time. Let's go to another very young participant, 8 years old from London. We have Akifa Ahmed. Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Akifa.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you doing today, Akifa? Am I pronouncing your name right? Is it Akifa or is it Akifa?
Akifa.
Akifa. You like it pronounced Akifa. Okay. Akifa, how are you doing today?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking. Akifa, which surah will you be reciting for us?
I will be reciting Suratul Qalam.
Suratul Qalam. Alhamdulillah, nice choice. Let's, if you're ready, listen to your recitation from Suratul Qalam.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نون والقلم وما يسطرون ما أنت بنعمة ربك بمجنون.
Akifa,
Yes.
please may I ask if you can read a bit louder, inshallah, and maybe my producers can put the sound up as well, so we can hear properly, inshallah. So just a bit louder, inshallah. You can carry on, don't worry, I'll bear that in mind for the time as well.
وإن لك لأجرا غير ممنون وإنك لعلى خلق عظيم فستبصر ويبصرون بأيكم المفتون إن ربك هو أعلم بما ضل عن سبيله
وهو عالم بالمهتدين فلا تطع المكذبين ودوا لو تدهنوا فيدهنون ولا تطع كل هلف مهين هماز مشاء بنميم مناع للخير معتد أثيم عتل بعد ذلك زنيم أن كان ذا مال وبنين.
Do you want to read one more verse? Either.
إذا تتلى عليه آياتنا قال أساطير الأولين.
Jazakillahu khair. Akif, I gave you one ayah extra just because I had stopped you midway for the sound. But may Allah bless you, alhamdulillah. Thank you for your recitation from Surah Al-Qalam. Alhamdulillah, we're getting so many different parts of the Quran recited in this beautiful session. So you, my respected viewers, are getting so much ajr, so much rewards from listening to various parts of the Quran, from Juz 29, from Surah Al-Baqarah, from Juz 30, and many other parts as well. So alhamdulillah, this is a beautiful way to continue gaining reward. Can we check once again if we have Aisha? No, we'll be coming back to Aisha. But in the meantime, let's move all the way south to Brighton, where we have Aqil Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Aqil.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you doing today, young man?
I'm doing good, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. You seem very confident and you seem very ready. Are you ready?
Yeah, I guess so.
You guess so. No, that's not a confident answer. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. Aqil, which surah will you be reciting for us?
I'll be reciting Surah Al-Muzammil.
Surah Al-Muzammil. Beautiful choice. If you're ready, you may begin.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها المزمل قم الليل إلا قليلا نصفه أو انقص منه قليلا أو زد عليه ورتل القرآن ترتيلا إنا سنلقي عليك قولا ثقيلا إن ناشئة الليل هي أشد وطئا وأقوم قيلا إن لك في النهار سبحا طويلا واذكر اسم ربك وتبتل إليه تبتيلا رب المشرق والمغرب لا إله إلا هو فاتخذه وكيلا واصبر على ما يقولون واهجرهم هجرا جميلا وضم والمكذبين أولي النعمة ومهلهم قليلا إن لدينا أنكالا وجحيما وطعاما ذا غصة وعذابا أليما يوم تنجف الأرض والجبال وكانت الجبال كثيبا مهيلا إنا أرسلنا إليكم رسولا شاهدا عليكم كما أرسلنا إلى فرعون رسولا فعصى فرعون الرسول فأخذناه أخذا وبيلا
ما شاء الله تبارك الله. I will stop you there, Aqil, because of the time. Alhamdulillah, very nicely recited. You did get through a substantial amount of the surah. May Allah bless you and your recitation of Surah Al-Muzammil. Alhamdulillah. There we go. We have Aqil all the way from Brighton, recited from Juz 29. Again, the beautiful efforts from all of our students is definitely showing, and inshallah we get to hear many more. Let's go once up all the way back to Walsall, where we have Aisha Arabi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Aisha.
Wa alaikum assalam.
How are you doing today?
I'm good, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Lovely to hear from you. Aisha, which surah will you be reciting for us today?
I'll be reciting from Surah Baqarah verses 184 to verse 186.
Fantastic, very precise, just the way I like it. Aisha, if you're ready, you may begin, inshallah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون وإذا سألك عبادي عني فإني قريب أجيب دعوة الداعي إذا دعان فليستجيبوا لي وليؤمنوا بي لعلهم يرشدون صدق الله العظيم.
MashaAllah, Jazakallah khairan. You did finish with a bit of time to spare, but may Allah bless you, Aisha. Thank you for your recitation from Surah Al-Baqarah. Alhamdulillah, again a very good effort. You can see the contestants are very confident in their choices of surah. One of the feedbacks, if I may share as well, inshallah, in that process is when you are picking a place, it doesn't have to be a massive surah, it doesn't have to be a very lengthy surah, but what it has to be is something that you're confident to recite. Do look over it a couple of times, even if it's 20 times, even if it's 50 times, even if it's 100 times. Read it until you feel so confident, like you know it like the back of your hand, and then inshallah recite it as well, so that you're not struggling with any of the words when you're reciting here live on TV. I will turn to my judges for a moment, inshallah. Sheikh Maqsood, alhamdulillah, we just listened to another batch of Qurra from different parts. What's your overall feedback and any suggestions that you may share with them as well?
And I would really request them to read probably the full surah, complete surah in this round, because 2 minutes is not very long.
Yes.
Probably from Juz Amma, stick to Juz Amma. Even if you think, oh, okay, everybody reads Juz Amma, I want something different, then pick the part. There is a complete meaning there. Don't just random park and then you just left on half of some of the probably the ahkam the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealing, or sometimes the stories in the middle of the nowhere, you stop the recitation in 2 minutes gone, because you're not going to get 2 minutes 1 second even. Once you finish the ayah, it will stop you.
Yes.
So it's better you do your background work or homework before you're reciting. That's very important. And second, one thing that, as you probably mentioned beginning of the show, in your home environment, the way you read, when you compose, you have to really expose your voice and read out loud. We struggle sometimes. We see some of the sound system, they have to probably put the volume up or something. So when you read out loud, it will give you extra boost in terms of fixing your makharij, your huruf, ha, a, kha, these sort of things come out much better. But if you keep, hitting, I say, oh, is this a ha? Is this a ha? Is this something like very sort of vague thing? So it's better, read out loud as if you are without mic, you're reading in front of the people. So this is how you keep in your mind. Once you have the mic, so if I read loud, if I read in my own voice, it will make it louder. It doesn't work actually very well.
That's a very good point. When you're sometimes perhaps in your own little room, you don't want to read loudly. You're thinking, oh, maybe I'll disturb everyone in the house, or maybe I'll be shouting and the neighbors will hear.
Exactly.
But you do need to read a bit louder so everyone can hear. Sheikh Hamza, from the participants you've been hearing, is there any overall trends, as unfortunately as I say, in mistakes that you've noticed? Something that you can share. Maybe some words that you've noticed. One of the things I noticed, I will share, is I've heard some students start with A'udhu billah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Sometimes, maybe for younger students, this is a common mistake. The ayn doesn't come out properly. In all the participants you've heard, have you spotted any things that maybe will benefit the other reciters along with the ones who've recited?
Okay, so there are those who, some of them who've been reciting from their nose. Obviously, this is one of the things that when you recite out loud, you might be avoiding that.
So, for our viewers, Sheikh Hamza, sorry to interrupt you, what's wrong with reading from your nose?
So this affects the sifat al-huruf, or the characteristics of the letters, because the only two letters that have been recited from the nose, which is the noon and the mim.
Okay.
And then there are certain rules, like for example, the idgham with the ghunna and the ikhfa. In these two letters, you apply, these two rules of noon, sakin and tanween, you apply the ghunna. But when you are reading throughout with your nose, then you are weakening the ghunna in these rules. And then we can't hear the ghunna here. And also another problem is that you'll be swallowing some of the letters. Some of the letters will not come out clear, because some of the letters need to come out very clearer and louder. But when you're reciting from your nose, some of these letters will not be clear, because you're giving them a characteristics that do not belong to them. So this is a major problem when you're reciting from your nose. Also, certain letters, they are very close to the letter noon. For example, the lam and the ra. And when you're reciting from your nose, the lam might not come out clear. The lam might sound.
Can you give an example of this?
So al, this is without the ghunna. So and then we have an, which is the ghunna. And then when you say al, so I'm actually pronouncing the lam, but I'm using my nose. So al. So you can see there's a mixture of the lam and the noon.
Okay.
Because of the ghunna. And the noon and the lam are very close to each other. So when you do apply the ghunna, the lam might sound like you're pronouncing a noon. Also the ba, obviously ba and mim, you can see ba, mim. Mim has a ghunna. Okay? And this is what one of the things that differentiate between the ba and the mim. Obviously the ba is a hard letter and the mim is a middle letter. But also when you're trying to pronounce the ba with your nose, it might also sound like especially if you're not giving the ba the full right it deserves, it will end up sounding like the letter mim.
Okay.
So you need to be careful not to read from your nose.
Okay, that's a very good feedback. Sheikh Maqsood, you were pointing at a few other pronunciations of letters. Sheikh Hamza elaborated on some of the the ghunna letters or the non-ghunna letters where they shouldn't be coming from the nose. What about some of the other sifat that you have noticed? I know some of the perhaps students in terms of the ta, the letter ta, you were talking about the itbaq of the letter. Can you maybe elaborate and maybe give some instances where students can improve on those?
Sometimes, especially the second letters, we tend to sometimes let them move. For instance, nadoribu. It's not, that is not the letter of qalqula. You wouldn't say nadoribu. Nadribu like this. Like, I was going to mention this, the khayshum, that was the nasal letter. Related to Sheikh Hamza's وَجَعَلْنَا اللَّيْلَ لِبَدَسَ. You say then from the nose, it lam become وَجَعَلْنَا. So وَجَعَلْنَا like this. And especially some of the letters is very, very, obvious that when you change the makharaj, the way the letter should come out. For instance, kaf, qaf is lots of interchange. So it shouldn't happen. Same way, whenever the huruf halqi, where sometimes they go, when they close proximity, they try and influence each other. And I would say to check your lahn jali, the minor mistakes. Sometimes we just talk about the makhraj and sifat, but probably you couldn't remember when we did the launching program, I mentioned there's three the section in our marking. So you have to give equal importance of these three. And the second part is lahn jali and lahn khafi. If you probably noticed at the beginning of the show, some reciters, it's like they will recite it, they change the letters and we change the meaning. So you have to be penalized a lot for this.
Yes.
And lahn, the khafi, the minor mistake is when you hear the letter supposed to be heavy, make it light. Okay, for instance, wal-qamar, no qamar, it's qamar, ma. It's no ma sound. Never mim said ma sound. So same way, you got to be careful these ones. So when they come heavy letter and light letter in next to each other, this will happen. Whether the light letter trying to pull the heavy letter, or the heavy letter trying to pull the light letter heavy, or light letter trying to put down the heavy letter light. So you got to be careful on this. So whenever they come to sabara, no, it's sabara, because sad heavy, ra heavy, here ba light. So we tend to say sabara, no sabara. So this one we really, the judge will pick up this thing. Sometimes I said, hifz wise, my makhraj correct, my gunna correct, my qalqala correct. Why I've been still getting the less mark? It's because of this lahn khafi, the minor mistakes. And I think by the contestants, it's better to check with your teacher or the parents, whoever teaching you, inshallah. If they have this understanding, these are the minor mistakes, these are the heavy letters, these are the light letters, then you could easily overcome the problem. Why we're talking about in this the level this, because you are already screened.
Yes.
You already put down hundreds behind you.
Yes, yes,
so
yes.
you are not like ordinary reciter.
Yes, yes.
You already showed your competence. So something we expect a bit more than the first round when we the selection round.
Definitely. No, I think that's really good feedback from both of our judges there. This is not just the first round. Indeed, there was, of course, like every single season before this, a phone round where people call in and recite to our judges as well. This is the elimination round. So there is an expectation of slight improvement. Obviously, amongst the 300 plus who are competing in the elimination round, that's going to be a major challenge as we get to less than 50 contestants for the next round. So we have to be looking for the best reciters. This is your big moment to take your time. There's only 2 minutes that you have to be able to prove your quality. So it is important that you are honing on those mistakes, on those corrections, on the pronunciation, the lahn jali, khafi, all of those things that our teachers have been talking about, in order for you to be able to not just, of course, impress the teacher at this moment of time, but to be truly learning the Quran even in your own capacity properly. At the end of the day, whenever we do something in life, we want to do it properly. So if we take the Quran, we have to ensure that we are reciting it properly and preserving it for each generation to come in the most sahih, authentic way, inshaAllah. Lots of good feedback from our judges, lots of wonderful recitation from our competitors, but we are once again due a very short break. After the break, we'll be back once again to listen to several more reciters, so don't go anywhere, inshallah. We'll see you after that. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
قرآني في قلبي دوما يغمرني من فيض ضياء آيات المولى تدفعني نحو العليا. في قلبي دوما يغمرني من فيض ضياء آيات المولى تدفعني نحو العليا.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the Voice of Oneness with myself, Murshid Habib. Alhamdulillah, for those of you who are joining us, we have of course begun with the first episode of the Elimination round today. Alhamdulillah, we've started with some beautiful tilawa with various participants from places in the country, including London, including Reading, Brighton, Walsall, and many other parts of the country as well. But the beautiful part is it's not only limited to older participants, it's also including younger participants, including as young as 8 years old. We've had several participants who are as young as 8 reciting not just one or two basic surahs like Surah Al-Nas, Surah Al-Ikhlas, short surahs. By basic I mean short, rather some of them picking as long as Surah Al-Baqarah to recite, Surah Al-Shura. Again, demonstrating how impressive our community is in their Quranic abilities, and inshallah that's what we want to see many more of our young people rising up to the challenge, being inspired. The point of these programs is not just to be reciting and crowning a winner, inshallah we will do that, but is to inspire many more hundreds and thousands of students to be able to be confident enough to pick up the Quran, have it as part of their life. These students, they're not just sitting at home the entire day, they have a busy daily life, going to school, everything else, but they are also at the same time making time for the Quran. So inshallah they serve as an inspiration for many more homes as well. We still have a few more reciters to listen to, so inshallah let's turn to our next reciter from London. We have Al-Mubin Qadi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Mubin.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you doing today, young man?
Alhamdulillah, I'm well. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm very well. You sound like a very confident young person. I really like to see how you deliver, inshallah. I'm sure you'll be as confident as you're speaking. How's your day been, Al-Mubin? Good day?
Excellent.
Excellent. Allahu Akbar. That's what I love to hear. Mubin, which surah will you be reciting for us?
Today I'm going to recite Surah Al-Tini Makkiyya.
Surah Al-Tini Makkiyya. Okay, perfect explanation of which surah you're reciting. Mubin, if you're ready, your 2 minutes begins now.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والتين والزيتون وطور سينين وهذا البلد الأمين لقد خلقنا الإنسان في أحسن تقويم ثم رددناه أسفل سافلين إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات فلهم أجر غير ممنون فما يكذبك بعد بالدين أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين. Jazakallah khairan for listening.
Barakallahu feek for reciting for us. Thank you so much, Mubin. May Allah bless you, and inshallah we get to hear from you in due course. Alhamdulillah, that's Mubin from London, 11 years old in fact. So you can see again young brothers taking part. May Allah bless him. I believe we also have a sibling. We have from London, 9 years old.
Yes, he is right beside me.
Al-Muqtasin Qadi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Muqtasin.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you doing today, Muqtasin?
Alhamdulillah, I'm doing well.
Alhamdulillah, lovely to hear that. Muqtasin, which surah will you be reciting for us?
Today I'm going to recite Surah Adiyat Makkiyya.
Al-Adiyat. Okay, well inshallah if you're ready, you may begin.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعاديات ضبحا فالموريات عقدها فالمغيرات صبحا فأثرن به نقعا فوسطن به جمعا إن الإنسان لربه لكنود وإنه على ذلك لشهيد وإنه لحب الخير لشديد أفلا يعلم إذا بصر ما في القبور وحصل ما في الصدور إن ربهم بهم يومئذ لخبير.
MashaAllah, Jazakallah khairan. Thank you so much for the muhtasin. May Allah bless you, Alhamdulillah. You can see both brothers within one family taking up the Quran as part of their life, reciting it so confidently. I'm sure, inshallah, our teachers will have a lot of feedback for them, but nevertheless, this is a testament to the love that they have in their household for the Quran. May Allah bless their parents and their asatid, their teachers as well, for encouraging them in the Quran, and inshallah, they can only continue to improve further and further. Let us turn to our next participant. We have from London, we have Ali Muhammad Kapadia, 12 years old. Inshallah, let's give a salam to Ali. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Ali.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you doing today, Ali?
Alhamdulillah, fine.
Alhamdulillah, very good to hear that. Ali, which surah will you be reciting for us?
I'll be reciting part of Surah Baqarah.
Part of Surah Al-Baqarah. Well, if you're ready, you may begin.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم كما أرسلنا فيكم رسولا منكم يتلو عليكم آياتنا ويزكيكم ويعلمكم الكتاب والحكمة ويعلمكم ما لم تكونوا تعلمون فاذكروني يذكركم واشكروني ولا تكفرون يا أيها الذين آمنوا استعينوا بالصبر والصلاة إن الله مع الصابرين ولا تكونوا لمن يقتل في سبيل الله أموات بل أحياء ولكن لا تشعرون ولنبلونكم بشيء من الخوف والجوع ونقص من الأموال والأنفس والثمرات وبشر الصابرين الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون أولئك صلوات ربهم ورحمة وأولئك هم المهتدون.
MashaAllah, tabarakallah. I will stop you there, Ali, because of the time and to be fair to everyone else. Ali, well done for that beautiful effort. Ali, who's your favorite reciter? Tell us.
Sheikh Mahir.
Sheikh who, sorry?
Sheikh Mahir al-Muwakkili.
Sheikh Mahir al-Muayqali. Okay, beautiful effort. I can see you trying to imitate him here and there as well. So, inshallah, we get to hear more of you in due time as well, Ali. Jazakallahu khairan. Alhamdulillah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Barakallahu feek to Ali Muhammad from London. Alhamdulillah, only 12 years old, but reciting from Surah Al-Baqarah Juz 2, the second juz of the surah, but you can see a lot of confidence in how he's reciting, almost as if he's been doing this for a long time. Alhamdulillah, very good effort. Sheikh Maqsood, if I can turn to you for a moment before we go to our next reciter. Alhamdulillah, we can see students, some of them perhaps trying to imitate some reciters, some of them perhaps, of course, reciting or building still their technique or the ada.
So,
In terms of general students or even expert students, who should they be listening to improve the Quran? Should they just pick someone they fancy on YouTube and listen, or do you recommend anyone in particular?
you know, I would say to start the journey, I put it like this. You have a very nice tone, mashallah. You go one compartment of the train. You have long breath, another compartment of the train. You have a sort of very control on your major recitation, another control. So every quality train is, you added one compartment. But that we call it tajweed is the engine. When you put the engine in front of everything, that more compartment you added, the train is going to be that longer. It is going to be more beautiful. But what's happened very often we see, we put notification beginning, long breath beginning, copying the sheikh beginning, and they put the engine at the back. That train will not go anywhere. Because once you start, we can feel, oh no, he's changing the letters, he's changing the meaning of what's the Quran. This is very, and it could be disastrous in some sense. But what we notice from these young reciters, sometimes it's really, I mean, mesmerizing the voice. Is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala especially blessed them. Their tone is no doubt. I mean, you could just feel if the boy, you know, just shaped out a little bit more, he would have been, you know, on the sky by this time, they was finishing recitation. So I would tell them, first choose the reciters, those who had a good tajweed. There are some reciters, them are, you know, I would say, I don't feel shy to say even the name, because sometimes, oh, geez, it's not my phone, it's Ayman al-Suwaid, one of the known sheikh in the world. In general, people wouldn't love to listen to him long. But he's been, I mean, said that one of the pinnacle of tajweed in the present time, in our time, because he's a lot of books writing, and his recitation is very easy to copy. So first I would say, you know, listen to him. At the same time, for beautification, you can go to Sheikh Minshawi, Sheikh Husari, Sheikh Mishal, Sheikh Rashid al-Afasi. But remember, they're already on top of the mountain.
Yes.
So you need to start who you can really adopt. And I personally always say, don't stick to one sheikh. It's better always to listen different sheikh, because Allah, this is one of the miracles of the Quran, is everybody has their unique style who love it. You don't say Sheikh Mishari and Sheikh Minshawi is the same. No, see, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed both sheikh, one is 40 years before passed away. He's just still there, Sheikh Mishari in our time, but you like both of them.
Yes.
But they're not both anyway same. So this is what I always ask the young reciters, develop your own skill. And I can see from today's episode, there are some reciters, and I can feel they have the hidden talent in their recitation. If they little bit of nurture in their skill, you can see, inshallah, they will be in the future Minshai, future Mishar Afasi from our generation, inshallah.
Inshallah, bi'idhnillah. In their own right, they can develop a style which will be able to benefit them as well. Alhamdulillah. Very good advice. We'll come back to Sheikh Hamza as well in a moment. But let's go to our next reciter for today. All the way up in Blackburn, we have Alicia Tazmeen, 12 years old. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Alicia.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you doing today, Alicia?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine.
Alhamdulillah. Alicia, which surah would you like to recite for us?
Surah Ar-Rahman.
Surah Ar-Rahman, beautiful choice. Well, if you're ready, you may begin, inshallah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان والسماء رفعها ووضع الميزان ألا تطغوا في الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تخسروا الميزان والأرض وضعها للأنام فيها فاكهة والنخل ذات الأكمام والحب ذو العصف والريحان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان خلق الإنسان من صلصال كالفخار وخلق الجان من مارج من نار فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان رب المشرقين ورب المغربين فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان
ما شاء الله
صدق
تبارك الله.
الله العظيم.
Jazakallahu khairan. Alicia, have you memorized this surah?
Yes.
How much of the Quran have you memorized?
I've done a few paras from the back
Masha.
and a few from the front as well.
Some from the front as well. Alhamdulillah. Beautiful effort. May Allah bless you, Alicia. We look forward to hearing from you in due course. Alhamdulillah. Alicia, 12 years old from Blackburn, reciting with so much confidence of Surah Al-Rahman. Alhamdulillah. A pleasure to listen to as well. Let's turn once again to Sheikh Hamza. Sheikh Hamza, Alhamdulillah, we're seeing lots of young brothers and sisters reciting. I have to say, perhaps just due to the schedule today, maybe not due, it may not have been intentional in any way, but we didn't listen to a lot of sisters today. We only heard a couple of them. Some of our parents, perhaps, and I remember from my own experience, perhaps push the brothers a lot, perhaps not so much the sisters. Do you believe the sisters need to be pushed? Is it helpful for the next generation to have these sisters who are learning the Quran? What would your feedback be to parents as well on this?
Yes, the problem is also we are lacking a lot of female teachers, a lot of female ulama, because the mindset of the people is just the boys. They need to be out there, they need to be trained more, they need to be, that's why even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is not only now, throughout the generation, even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blamed those people that whenever they had a boy, they would be happy, but whenever they would hear the news of the girl being born, they would be so sad about it. But it's not about, they'll say, okay, I need a girl to carry my name. But sometimes there are certain people, they are known by their, they're not known by their, by their father's name. Even like there's a great scholar of hadith, his name is Ibrahim ibn Ismail, but he's famously known as Ibrahim ibn Ulayya. Ulayya was his mom. Even if you look in the books of hadith, his name is mentioned as Ibrahim ibn Ulayya. Ibrahim, the son of Ulayya, was a famous lady. If you look at Bukhari itself, one of the famous copies of Bukhari was transmitted through Karima, was Al-Marwaziyya, was a female. Even Dr. Akram al-Nadwi, he compiled the whole book about the female narrators, which many people don't know of.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so it is very important to also push the girls to learn the Quran. If you have a boy who's not willing and you have a girl that is willing to learn, you can't say, oh, we need to push the boy more and you leave the girl away. And that's why the Prophet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, told the Prophet when he was focusing on the Quraysh and he was leaving behind Abdullah ibn Maktoum. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was telling the Prophet sallallahu, why would you turn away from this person who wants to hear from you and you're focused on the people who don't care about you? So focus on this person. So if you have children and you have girls who wants to be out there, they wanted to compete, and you have boys who don't want to, they're feeling lazy, I said, oh, let me focus on the boys. I want them to be out. Also focus so that he doesn't lose hope. I said, oh, you know what? No one's caring about me, so let me just lose hope and stay away. So obviously we need more girls teachers, we need more ulama, because a lot of people, especially women, they want to ask questions, specific questions, and they don't feel comfortable asking a male scholar. So they know there are female scholars that they might need to listen to us. For example, we have many Sharia council here in the UK, but some of them, they don't have female counselors that the women can go to them and mention their case. So we need a lot of female ulama, a lot of female qurra, that other women can go and study with them, because some of them, they say, okay, I don't want to recite the Quran to a male teacher, I want a female teacher, and they'll say it's very difficult to find a female teacher. So my advice to the parent, if your daughter wants to learn the Quran, wants to compete, let them, teach them, give them time, so you and others later on, and they could benefit the community and the society, inshallah.
Barakallahu feek, Shaykh. I think a very fantastic answer, very aptly put as well. We definitely see the Quran as a foundation. If the children learn from the Quran, our sisters learn from the Quran and build their assets from that, they learn the hadith, they learn the other sciences of our deen through that, then inshallah they will become representatives and help the many thousands of sisters in their communities who require assistance as well. Shaykh Maqsood, I'm going to come to you for the final word today. Alhamdulillah, we've had a brilliant show. We've listened to a lot of reciters. What has been your thoughts of our first episode, and inshallah any advice for the participants joining from tomorrow?
Yes, first today I'll probably address those who can't make for the next round.
Yes.
The first thing is, by entering this competition you are already a winner, because first compete to the khair, compete to the goodness, and you are all in that track, fulfilling one of the commands of Allah Ta'ala, and you got the reward for this. Second is our intention, whether I win the competition or not, every letter I read, I'll be rewarded for this. And minimum 10. Imagine by you probably practicing, okay, alam tara, alam tara, alam tara. Every time you read alam tara 555, you might get tired in counting, how many times you read, but angel won't be tired. They keep writing this. So there is no way you will lose her. This is my first. Second point is, you see, if you can't make it to the next round, that not end of the story, okay? This end of the, not even end of the world. You listen or watch every single episode, and you see what are the judges tell about the reciters, what are the feedback they give, and put into note down in your for your improvement in the future, inshallah. Because alhamdulillah, we're in season 3. I can still remember it's as if like yesterday we started. Yes. Already on 3rd year. So hopefully, inshallah, it will continue. And if you are a single digit reciter, 8, 9, you have plenty of time to improve yourself, inshallah. If you're 13 plus, there's no way. There are so many other platforms you can prove your expertise, inshallah. So what I would request, note down the feedbacks or the advices the judges give, and work on this, inshallah. Okay, and especially just echoing what the Shaykh Hamza says, encourage our little sister reciters more and more, inshallah. Because when at one point you don't actually get to see them after this. Yes. So still this competition mostly focus on the very young reciters, very early teen. So I think it would be absolutely fine if they can take part, inshallah.
I think fantastic advice from our judges there, alhamdulillah. Do not refrain your students or children who want to learn. Sometimes, I'll leave that as a final mark. Sometimes our younger boys are pushed towards the deen because perhaps maybe in other subjects they're not focusing, so it's seen as a fallback, and I'm sure my teachers will agree on that as well. But nevertheless, focus on both your sons and your daughters in their Quranic ability, in their Islamic pursuits, and bi'idhnillah we'll have hundreds of qurra, hundreds of ulama, fuqaha, all throughout our communities, inshallah, helping further our beautiful deen al-hanif, inshallah. Alhamdulillah, for myself, Murshid Habib, it's been a beautiful first episode. We'll be here from Monday to Thursday in the next few weeks with the elimination round from 5 o'clock to 6:30. So please join us on all of these live episodes. Encourage your family to watch and inspire yourselves and your communities to continue with the recitation of the Quran. From myself and the TV1 team, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
قرآني في قلبي دوما يغمرني من فيض ضياء